on the recording button. Yeah,
Avatar
noisy.
Meher Baba ki jai. Let's do the three-step prayer today. So, Ashok ji, you can start with the universal prayer. Mama ji, you can do the repentance. And finally, I will do the beloved God prayer. Over to you, Ashok ji.
Avatar, Meher Baba ki jai. Universal prayer. O Parvardikar, the preserver and protector of all, you are without beginning and without end, non-dual, beyond comparison, and none can measure you. You are without color, without expression, without form, and without attributes. You are unlimited and unfathomable, beyond imagination and conception, eternal and imperishable. You are indivisible and none can see you, but with eyes divine, you always were, you always are, and you always will be. You are everywhere, you are in everything, and you are beyond everywhere and beyond everything. You are in the firmament and in the depths. You are manifest and unmanifest on all planes and beyond all planes. You are in three worlds and also beyond the three worlds. You are imperceptible and independent. You are the creator, the Lord of Lords, the knower of all minds and hearts. You are omnipotent and omnipresent. Your knowledge infinite, power infinite, and bliss infinite. You are the ocean of knowledge, all knowing, infinitely knowing, the knower of the past, the present,
Present.
and the
Uh,
future, and you are knowledge itself. You are all merciful and eternally benevolent. You are the soul of souls, the one with infinite attributes. You are the trinity of truth, knowledge, and bliss. You are the source of truth, the ocean of love. You are the ancient one, the highest of the high. You are Prabhu and Parmeshwar. You are the beyond God and the beyond God also. You are Parabrahma, Allah, Ilahi, Yazdan, Ahurmaz, and God the Beloved. You are named Izzat, the only one worthy of worship.
The
we
prayer of
repent.
repentance.
Please go ahead.
This prayer was dictated by Meher Baba in 1952. We repent, O God, most merciful, for all our sins, for every thought that was false or unjust or unclean, for every word spoken that ought not to have been spoken, for every deed done that ought not to have been done. We repent for every deed and word and thought inspired by selfishness, and for every deed and word and thought inspired by hatred. We repent especially for every lustful thought and every lustful action, for every lie, for all hypocrisy, for every promise given but not fulfilled, and for all slander and backbiting. Most especially also we repent for every action that brought ruin to others, for every word and deed that has given others pain, and for every wish that pain should befall others. In your unbounded mercy, we ask you to forgive us, O God, for all these sins committed by us, and to forgive us for our constant failure to think and speak and act according to your will. God Meher Baba ki jai.
Beloved God, help us all to love you more and more, and more and more, and still yet more, till we become worthy of union with you, and help us all to hold fast to Baba's Daman till the very end. Avtar Meher Baba ki jai. Avtar Meher Baba ki jai. Avtar Meher Baba ki jai. So, thank you very much for joining and reading doing the prayer along with us this morning. Let's start from where we left off. We are in the longest chapter in God Speaks, which is part 8. So we'll pick up from where we stopped last time. So we are, those following on the physical book, we are on page 141. And Kama, good to see you back again. And we also have a new guest, Jai Baba, Mr. Jai Chandran.
Yeah, Jai Baba. Thank
Jai
you.
Baba, Jai Baba.
Welcome to the
Yeah, Mr. Ravi has introduced me to this group, and thank you. I'm being
Jai Baba.
glad part of this group. Yeah, Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, Jai Baba. Maybe towards the end, we'll have a more elaborate intro or just a casual chat. Let's start with the
Yes.
reading right away. Jai
Yeah,
Baba.
Jai Baba.
So we start where we were looking. So from here, we went to supplement 26, which explains about the perfect master. And then we came back to continue from there. So in the last discussion, we understood or tried to understand Bakabila, Kutubiyat, the difference, and Fanafila. So it's basically Fanafila, Bakabila, and then finally, in the state of the Kutubiyat, the perfect master comes back, right? So now let's pick up from that point and continue. Atar Meher Baba Ki Jai. The dual role of I am God and I am human, which was established in Bakabila, is now not only simultaneously experienced, but is also lived through in the state of Kutubiyat. And the man God, Kutub, Sadguru, or Perfect Master, now simultaneously lives the life of God and the life of man with all of the strength of the infinite knowledge, power, and bliss of the God state, together with all of the weaknesses and sufferings of the man state. At the end
Jai
of the
Baba,
third Yakama.
okay, this paragraph that you just read, just please go up.
Yeah.
So here he is talking about the dual role of I am God and I am human, which was established in Bakabila, which is also for the Jivan Mukta. Okay?
Yes.
It's now not only simultaneously experienced
Mhm.
um, in the state of now here you use Kutubiyat, but I think then for the um, Jivan Mukta it should be called Sulukiyat,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So
We,
it's
we,
interesting here that the term Kutubiyat is used because Kutub is Sadguru, a perfect master. So
no, the
the
term
only
is correct. Sorry for the interruption. So he is specifically charting the course of the perfect master, and that's why he's using Kutubiyat. But thanks for pointing it out. In the case of a Jivan Mukta also, he experiences both, but that is called Slukya.
right, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
So
perfect.
both are established in Bakabila, both have the dual role of I
Yes,
am God and then I am human.
correct.
And only thing is one is in a passive state, one is on an active state. What we
Yes,
call as divinity in action, action. That is what the perfect master is. And also,
correct.
I don't know because last time I missed. Did you guys
Yeah, you were.
discuss about reality and divinity? That part,
Yes, we did read about in the supplement, right?
right? But remember there is a little bit of uh, at least for me, the confusion between when it goes into the Bakabila state, it says both reality and divinity. Which I probably thought was I am you're established in the God state as well as your human. You know, you're simultaneously experiencing both the God state and the man state,
Are
which
you
is what
referring to,
Bakabila is.
yeah, are you referring to, yeah, this is, I think you're probably referring to this one, the 23, but here
Right.
it doesn't talk about
No, no, no,
reality.
not here,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
here
yeah,
actually.
yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway, we don't have to focus on that right now. But I was just curious, no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, of course, we went through the sequence, but the specific question that you referred to, maybe we'll come back to it at the right time. Yeah, let's get back. So,
Uh, Karthik,
Kutubiyat, yeah,
uh, uh, that slide which you have, have it opened. So Kutubid is a perfect master, and Bakayat is Jivan Mukta. So I'm a little confused. Of course, you guys are very intellectual. You're speaking something which is very profound.
which chart, please?
The stages on the path, that is Shariat, Tariqat, Marifat,
Okay.
Hakikat.
So, yeah, so that is the Sufi steps. Okay, that's not to be seen in this context. But
Okay, okay.
which particular section of the there are many slides in that. I know what you're talking about now.
So
But
I'm saying that the perfect master is Kutubiyat, right?
yes, perfect master is
Yes,
Kutubiyat.
I'll
Perfect.
tell you. I'll clarify that for you. Basically, see, you have Majzubiyat, Sulukiyat, Kutubiyat. So Majzubiyat is basically the Majzub's state. Paramahamsa is in what they call as Turiya Avastha because he's alternating between God consciousness and creation consciousness. So that is Fanafila. So Fanafila is common to both because Fanafila is Sachitananda state, which is God consciousness. It is common to both Paramahamsa and Majzub. But the subtle difference is Majzub is only in God consciousness state, whereas Paramahamsa is alternating. So that is what
Correct.
is called Turiya Avastha. Then when you come to the Jivan Mukta and Kutub, that is Sadguru, that is Sahaja Samadhi. Sahaja Samadhi means simultaneously and spontaneously abiding in both states, God consciousness and creation consciousness, which is called Baka Bila and which is
Correct.
called Sulukiyat. But that Sulukiyat is only applicable to, it can be applicable to both, but the functions are different. Since the Jivan Mukta is not actively participating with creation, so he is in Sulukiyat, he is in passive aspect. Whereas the Kutub is actively participating, so it's called Kutubiyat. So the Bakabila is same for both Kutub and Jivan Mukta, but the state they are in is one is Kutubiyat and the other one is Sulukiyat. Hey, Baba.
Is this the slide you are referring to, Ashokji?
No, no, it's a very simple
Okay,
one.
this is the more relevant one. So if you see, this is exactly what Kama explained now. So
Okay.
there is no circle, no duty, and that is a Salike Kamil. And we read this last week. Salike
Okay.
Akmal has no circle, has duty, but can make a few souls up to the state of God realization. Finally, you have the Salik a Mukammil who has circle, has duty, but can make as many souls to his level. Now, the Jivan Mukta Jivan Mukta and the Salik e Akmal are in Sulukiyat, whereas specifically the flavor of Sulukiyat, let us say, for the perfect master is referred to as Kutubiyat. So maybe we
Okay.
should add that in this slide itself, saying these two are Sulukiyat and this is Kutubiyat. Anyway, that's so that there's no confusion. So let's get back to our reading. Next
Thanks.
paragraph. Yeah,
Thanks,
sure,
Karthik. Oh,
sure. At the end of the third divine journey, the perfect master not only lives a dual role and displays strength and weakness
Slide is
simultaneously.
okay. Okay, now we can.
Yeah, okay. So there is a refresh delay. I will fix that. At the end of the third divine journey, the perfect master not only lives a dual role and displays strength and weakness simultaneously, but also simultaneously utilizes this display of infinite strength through infinite knowledge, power, and bliss, and infinite weakness through infinite suffering for those who are in ignorance and who still conceive the false finite illusion to be infinite and real. So, even the suffering for those who are in ignorance are experienced as infinite weakness for the perfect master. In contrast to this state, I continue reading, in the state of Bakabala, God experiences his godhood constantly, simultaneously with the continual and constant experience of his manhood. And yet, he cannot use the infinite knowledge, power, and bliss, and also cannot utilize the infinite weakness and suffering for those in ignorance, because God does not live the life of God in this state as in the state of Kutubiyat. So in Bakabila, he cannot experience the weakness and suffering. So it's just a repetition of what is the difference in Kutubiyat. In Kutubiyat, you get both. Continuing, it is very, very rare, and it is for only very, very few to begin and to end their third divine journey in Kutub or Sadguru state. In this state, man, as God, now lives the life of God, lives emphasis. He now uses emphasis, the infinite knowledge, power, and bliss that he experiences. He is that God and man, or man God, who has brought down the one indivisible existence into the many. He is that man God who brought down independent reality, with our reality, into illusion and controls illusion from the divine office of his beyond state, Vigyan Bhumika or Mukam e Muhammadi. Lot is being said in the last line. I'll repeat the last line. He is that man God who brought down independent reality into illusion. So, divinity, independent reality, the divine essence comes into illusion, but also he controls illusion from the divine office of his beyond state. So now it's not beyond the beyond, it's in the beyond, Vigyan Bhumika or Mukam e Muhammadi. And there is a supplement. Any comment? I heard I thought I heard. Okay, let's go to 27.
Yeah. Here
Please,
there
please.
is one aspect which Kama also brought up just before. Uh, he is that man God who brought down independent reality. I am pressing on reality into illusion and controls illusion from the divine office, divine once again, office of his beyond state, Gyan Bhumika and Mukamil Muhammadi. So here the reality and divinity, they are brought together. One is reality, that is God, he being the God. Divinity is he is able to pass on this effects of the God state into the uh, illusion. People around him or others who can achieve something out of this divinity uh, effulgence from the Sadguru. So, what is the actual definition of reality and divinity?
Okay. I think we are going back to everything and nothing, right? So the independent reality, according to me, is everything, and the illusion is a combination. Of course, I'll remind everybody We are still figuring out what is the difference between false nothing and real nothing. If you recollect the last discussion, keep that aside. The nothing, big nothing, is illusion, and everything is divinity. So he brings divinity into illusion literally. So otherwise, they are two different realms. In illusion, there is no God. There's only symbols. There is only advanced souls. But in the of using the divine office of his of the Mukamme Muhammadi, the perfect master is the soul, rather five people, soul representative who operates the universe, because that's why control, and he is doing it in this realm, in nothing. So he is in nothing, but he represents everything, and he is in everything as well, because he has already reached the third end of the third journey. That's what I understand. Kama, any comments from your side?
Well, Jay Baba, I think that reality and divinity see the divine office. So, which means the Bakabila state is the divinity state because God is coming down and behaving like man, and he has duties. And as Doctor pointed out, the divine office, Vigyan Bhumika. So, um, so the divinity part is basically coming down as a divine person, but also behaving like a normal person. I believe there could be different interpretations to that, but definitely it applies only to Jivan Muktas and uh, Kutubs or Sadgurus, uh, whereas the reality is common to both because reality deals with God realization. Okay. Whereas the divinity aspect, as we know, Bakabila means coming and getting established in the God, playing the life of God, right, in human form. So I think it needs more work on this. Maybe we should do some AI on this. I tried in the morning, I found something, but it's too elaborate right now to discuss. But let's finish this chapter and then we can come back to that, you know. Deva.
Okay, I have one comment slash question. So can we say this much? I mean, again, it's not man God. So if independent reality is an illusion, is that Jivan Mukta? Sulukiyat, correct? He is not having any role in control of illusion or nothing, but he is in divinity. And given that he is in body, he is in illusion as well. So is that a fair way of distinguishing the two? The sulukiyat of Jivan Mukta and the Kutubiyat is distinguished by the role of what he does here, and otherwise both are in the similar state. Is that correct? Anybody?
It looks hey,
Sorry, I was on mute. I'm saying that simultaneously and spontaneously both are in the God state and creation state. That is correct. That is Sahaja Samadhi. Only the function is different. That is why the Kutubiyat means divinity in action. It is actively participating. Whereas with the Jivan Mukta, we know that he is passive. He is
Mm,
not actively participating. So that is
correct.
why we call it Sulukiyat in a way. Yeah, Baba.
Correct. Okay. Namaji, you were
that's
saying
why
something.
I feel here there is a sort of a hint stating that reality is an experience by the individual soul which has reached this state, whereas divinity is exuding that reality to the people around through his office. That is the action part of the Sadgurus.
Right.
So that is the probable difference. Hey Baba.
Oh, okay.
Hey
So
Baba.
now I understand what you're saying. You're saying that the use of the word divinity is more active and is more to do with the pervasive nature of applicability to multiple people. Whereas when you're seeing bigger reality, it's just the personal, individualized soul's experience of Godhood. Is that correct?
Yes, that's how
Very good
I
observation or a very good way to interpret this. Yeah,
See, in
something.
discourses, reality, Nirvikalpa Samadhi is divinity in expression,
Yes,
and Sahaja Samadhi is divinity in action.
action.
Okay? So, in discourses, there is one when we are reading on meditation, there is a lot of these terminologies about nirvana, nirvikalpa
Yeah,
samadhi, and
yeah,
sahaja samadhi, that's written there. So that's how it is. Jai Baba.
yeah. So this is the table. So Sahaj Samadhi, like Kama mentioned, is divinity in action, right? So Sahaj Samadhi or divinity in action of Sadguru's avatar. And
But
yeah,
I have one comment. Go back to that. Yeah. The word nirvana or absorption in divinity
yes,
is incorrect in my book because nirvana is
yes,
only bliss. It should be
bliss.
absorption in bliss.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
And
correct.
nirvikalpa samadhi, divinity, and majzup is absorption in reality. See, instead of the word divinity, it could have been absorption in reality, that is majzup. Nirvana is absorption in bliss, and Nirvikalpa
Nirvikalpa
Samadhi
Samadhi.
is reality in expression.
get
This is where
Perfect.
I was wanting to figure out what makes sense or not. Anyway, Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Good one. Keep questioning, keep thinking, keep commenting, keep discussing, and then over time we will get better at this. Let's continue. I'm reading. The very life of this man god or perfect master is the Sahaj Samadhi. Such a perfect master is at one and the same time, simultaneously in all the universes and in all the worlds, on all the levels and on all the planes, living the life of the one and the all. His life is that of living also on particular levels and on particular planes as every creature and as an individual of that certain level and of that particular plane. At the same time, together with living the life of God, he lives the life of man on this earth. There is a footnote. In the words of Meher Baba, to God as God, nor does it belong to man as man. The finite being, who is conscious of his being finite, is obviously short of perfection. But when he is conscious of his being one with the infinite, he is perfect. Thus, we have perfection when the finite transcends its limits and realizes its infinity, or when the infinite gives up its supposed aloofness and becomes man. In both cases, the finite and the infinite do not stand outside each other. When there is a happy and conscious blending of the finite and the infinite, we have perfection. Very different but interesting observation. The second part of the paragraph, I will read again from thus. Thus, we have perfection when the finite transcends its limits and realizes its infinity, or when, this is this interesting part, or when the infinite gives up its supposed aloofness and becomes man. In both cases, the finite and the infinite do not stand outside each other. When there is a happy and conscious blending of the finite and the infinite, we have perfection. So this is the most important line. And this goes back to our, let's say, reading in Maya, where the or even in the everything and the nothing, what we read, everything and the nothing are not separate from each other and not different. Everything contains nothing, right? So and it's not outside of each other. So I just love this footnote. It's amazing.
Jai Baba, Karthik,
Yeah,
can we simplify it to say he is omnipresent and omniscient? That's a very simple.
omnipresent and omniscient. Yes.
That's a very simple way of putting or summarizing what you just read. Even the earlier paragraph we just now read. That is, he's omnipresent. He's present in both reality and in illusion. That's what we've been reading the last 2, 3 paragraphs. So he's everywhere.
No, I think the perspective that is unique that's coming across for the first time is this, where the infinite gives up its supposed aloofness and becomes man, right? So that's the unique perspective or the new perspective that we are seeing. The first perspective, the first part of the line, thus we have perfection when the finite transcends its limits and realizes its infinity. This is what we have been hearing and reading. The second one is the interesting and novel idea that's presented, where it's a combination of both doing it, both aspects. So infinity also gives up its supposed aloofness and identifies as man. Or, I mean, I shouldn't use the word identify. Okay, I'm sorry. But gives up its supposed aloofness and becomes man, right? So, very interesting perspective.
It's transformation, if you can say.
Yes, yes, it's transformation. I would even say it's some sort of coming together. It's blending. Yeah, that's another word that he uses, right? Blending.
Blending is a better word, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
blending. Yeah. Okay, so let's get back. Very interesting footnote. In this state of Kutubiyat, it may be said that God overlaps Godhood, which means that the consciousness of God after pervading everything, still remains infinite, unlimited, and unbounded in this beyond state of God, while remaining eternally conscious of the beyond state of God. Let me repeat. In this state of Kutubiyat, it may be said that God overlaps Godhood, which means that the consciousness of God after pervading everything still remains infinite, unlimited, and unbounded in this beyond state of God, while remaining eternally conscious of the beyond state of God. Okay, the mics are unmuting and asking a question yet or not yet?
The last part is a bit too difficult to understand.
Exactly.
While
That's what,
remaining eternally conscious
exactly.
of the beyond state of God.
So that is their consciousness. So that's where I was expecting a question exactly or a comment. So how can you be conscious, eternally conscious of the beyond state? Because that's a state that's unfathomable, does not have consciousness, whatever, right? So anyway, let's park it for a minute. But I think I love this part. So here, God overlaps Godhood, which means the consciousness of God after uh, 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 pervading everything still remains infinite, unlimited, and unbounded, right? So this phrase again is similar to the footnote, right? Where you're talking about a blending, where infinity uh, blends with man, with the perfect master state, right? Okay, now let's continue.
The third aspect is the last part of the sentence. So one
You
is
trailed off. You trailed off. Please repeat what you said.
no, the third aspect. God overlaps Godhood,
Yes.
pervading everything and still remains infinite, unlimited, unbounded in this beyond state of God. That is the two aspects. One becoming say God, and then also having a functionality of say action. So divinity. So these are two aspects. The third is while remaining eternally conscious of the beyond state of God. Can it be the
Yes.
third part of the thing?
Yeah, I would say that the last part, the third part, remaining eternally conscious of the beyond state of God, I would say that it's more at the realm of recognition of that state and connectivity to that state rather than the consciousness being, I mean, that's my interpretation, but I don't want to
More of
confuse. Okay, let's continue. The fourth divine journey pertains to the dropping of the Kutub's body, Shari. Even after dropping his body, the Kutub eternally remains consciously and individually as God the infinite, and the individual and indivisible state of I am God, of the state of Fanafila, which is the goal, is everlastingly experienced. That is, even after the body or the human form is dropped in the fourth divine journey, the experience of conscious, infinite, indivisible individuality is retained eternally as I am God, everything infinite and unbounded, one without a second. Now, this is the interesting part. Experience of conscious, infinite, indivisible individuality is retained eternally. Yeah, one without a second.
So here there is a merging.
I think more than merging, the reference in this paragraph is the persistence. So it continues. So whatever happened at the third journey, which is the Kutubiyat state, after the dropping of the body, the dropping of the body of the Kutub, the perfect master, you still there is actually no change because the infinite experience is persistent and continuous. That's what I'm taking away from this. See here, everlastingly experienced. So this are even now. Let's take a Sadguru. Sai Baba is not in the body now, but his experience at the individual soul level of Sadguru Sai Baba is everlastingly experienced and persistent. That's what I'm taking away.
Is if you take the say ordinary soul, so they take up another body, and then this say vicious circle goes on. We realize our say human mukta or ordinary mukti. So that is the end. You say bliss, but you are not totally God realized. You stay in bliss, whereas say perfect master is in the state of I am God state, and he remains in that perfect state. Conscious, infinite, indivisible individuality is retained eternally as I am God.
Correct. Yeah.
So this gives a hint that what is the force around each of these places of say worship of this perfect master, even though they have left their
Body.
career and such. So there is some effect for those who can perceive it in those places. And you can expect what you get in the place of the avatar. beyond this.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Similarly, I'm continuing reading. Similarly, God in the state of Baka Bila, where the apparently dual role of consciousness of I am God and I am human is manifested, is naturally enacted until the cloak of illusion, knowingly and consciously donned, is dropped. That is, when the human form or the body is dropped, the experience of conscious, infinite, indivisible individuality is retained eternally as I am God, everything infinite and unbounded, one without a second. Right?
Devava,
So it's,
uh,
yeah,
I believe that um, just not the God in the state of Akala, even the person who is in Panaphila, once they drop their body, they also experience, that indivisible individuality is retained eternally as I am God. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
yes, we have read that elsewhere. I'm trying to remember where. And it's, yes, the individual soul continues to experience that after reaching that state.
So all the 56 God realized souls, when they drop their body, will experience conscious, infinite, indivisible individualities retained eternally as I am God. Right?
Yes,
Correct.
yes, look.
That's my understanding as well. Yes. So I think here it's just we are charting again the course of the kutub. So it's being emphasized for the person for the kutub, but I think it applies to all of those who reach the state, even those who don't make the third journey. Even at the end of the second journey, same thing happens.
Right.
Okay, continuing. God is existence eternal, infinite, and all pervading. Since God is eternally infinite existence, it follows that there are an infinite number of states of God infinitely and eternally existing. I repeat, God is existence eternal, infinite, and all pervading. Since God is eternally infinite existence, it follows that there are an infinite number of states of God infinitely and eternally existing. But fundamentally, there are only two states of God, the original state and the final state. And he goes on, the original state is the beyond state of God, where eternally God is and consciousness is not. The final state is the beyond state of God, where consciousness is eternally of the God is state of the beyond state of God. I read the second line
This is a
again.
very
The
important
final,
paragraph to differentiate.
yes, the final state is the beyond state of God, where consciousness is eternally of the God is state of the beyond state of God. So, yes, this is a very, very important paragraph that we need to
That's
remember.
correct.
And you see the difference in nirvana, where consciousness is. That is the only state, the first stage of real fana, where consciousness is, but God is not. You remember that line in our previous readings.
Correct. Correct.
Oh, Karthik, can you read this again, please?
Sure. The original state is the beyond state of God, where eternally God is and consciousness is not. The final state is the beyond state of God, where consciousness is eternally of the God is state of the beyond state of God.
There's one correction. The line original state, it should be the most original state is the beyond state of God. Okay, Babu.
Yeah, correct. Agreed. I mean, it's more than
And
correction, it would clarify, yes.
Because the original state of God is Paramatma.
Correct. This is Paratma.
and the second part of this sentence stresses the fact that the final state is the beyond state of God, where consciousness is of what? Is of eternally of the God is state of beyond the beyond state of God.
Correct.
So this is important. So consciousness is not the consciousness of everything around or things like that. Consciousness is eternally of the God is state of the beyond state of God.
So if you
In
simplify
that
this,
consciousness is super consciousness, Maha Chaitanya.
Yes, Maha Chaitanya. Super.
exactly, exactly. So if you simplify this paragraph, it is the what comes to mind is the phrase that the conscious experience of God is the final state. The God is state is the final thing. But the key thing is it is a conscious experience. So whereas in the original state, it's an unconscious experience. That's all. That's the only difference, right? So that's another way. Let's continue. Maybe that will clarify. The same existence, big E, as God prevails eternally, whether it is as the beyond state of God or as the beyond state of God. The only difference is one of consciousness. In the beyond state of God, the existence consciously realizes itself as existing eternally as the beyond state of God is. That's exactly what I'm saying, right? So the only distinction between the two is the conscious realization, right? Conscious realization. Therefore, I continue, therefore, the divine goal is to realize the I am God state where existence consciously realizes itself as existing eternally as the beyond state of God is. This is the reality, and the conscious realization of this reality, once gained, is retained eternally. Invariably, it manifests itself in no other forms but in human forms of the earth in different divine states of God through different divine statuses of Madzubiyat, Turiya Avastha, which is Paramahamsa, or Fana Ma al Baka of Sulukiyat and of Kutubiyat.
There's
What
one
is
thing to note. The second line, therefore, the divine goal is to realize the I am God state where existence consciously realizes itself.
yeah?
So, this I think is a very important line. Rather than saying God, I think a better word for God is existence.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
Why
now I
it
get it.
becomes the
Now I
first
get
part of
it.
the message.
Seven real. Yeah. So I've never understood that. Yes. Beautiful. Thanks for pointing that out. An
it is again the seven
existence.
realities. Remember
Exactly,
the
exactly.
first two
Yeah.
realities
Exactly.
existence, self,
Exactly.
love, truth,
Yes.
infinity. Yeah.
Exactly. Existence is God. Fantastic. So just clarifying, this fana ma al baka is nothing but Turyavastha, is it? It's just another word. Yeah,
Yes.
I think yeah, it's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Yeah,
The Madhub Salik Salik Madhub state.
correct, correct. Continuing, all other intermediary states of God are illusory states where the same eternal, infinite, all pervading, one indivisible, formless existence as God, though not realized as the eternal reality, asserts through its very being in assuming forms of infinitely innumerable inanimate and animate things and creatures as lifeless and living states of God, while in the process of gaining full consciousness of the eternal reality of infinite existence. So that's the entire divine theme. All these intermediary illusory states of God thrive in the illusion of cosmic
I think
creation.
you can read that paragraph once again and then go further.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Yeah. So this is the whole divine theme. All other intermediary states of God, other than first and the original and the final, all other intermediary states of God are illusory states where the same eternal, infinite, all pervading, one, indivisible, formless existence as God, though not realized as the eternal reality, asserts through its very being in assuming forms of infinitely innumerable inanimate and animate things and creatures as lifeless and living states of God, while in the process of gaining full consciousness of the eternal reality of infinite existence.
This is
One,
almost an essence or summary of God speaks.
yes,
Exactly,
one
exactly.
sentence encompassing the whole of.
The journey of the soul from beyond the beyond to the final state. Everything is covered.
I think you
So,
can underline paragraph.
yeah. So, I have one question though. Why, why is this not in big I and big E? Is that conscious? I mean, is that purposeful or is that just, I don't know, right? So, while in the process of gaining full
What's the question
consciousness,
again? Can you repeat?
so
This last
see the last phrase, this phrase, while in the process of gaining full consciousness of the eternal reality of infinite existence. So my comment is, should this I and this E of infinite existence be in capital? But it's minor. It's just a comment.
Sure, why not? Because it's
Yeah,
also an aspect of God, infinity, existence, truth,
correct,
right?
correct. Okay, I continue. All these intermediary illusory states of God thrive in the illusion of cosmic creation through multifarious and diverse gross, subtle, and mental impressions of illusion, and through the entire cosmic creation is illusion. Sorry, and though, I'll read again from the beginning. All these intermediary illusory states of God thrive in the illusion of cosmic creation through multifarious and diverse gross, subtle, and mental impressions of illusion. And though the entire cosmic creation is illusion, yet it serves the purpose of a divine incubator where consciousness of the divine incubates and where such incubation produces the maturity to realize the eternal reality after the consciousness is nurtured and progressively developed through multifarious, diverse, and finite impressions and experiences of the opposites of the gross, subtle, and mental forms and worlds of the cosmic Big C creation. Again, extension of the divine theme or explanation of the divine theme through now the idea of impressions are brought in as well. But I love the phrase incubation, right? So it's nothing but
Yes.
a divine incubator where we are all going through the process of sharpening and improving consciousness so that when the divine incubates the consciousness to maximum capacity to reach the point where we are able to experience Godhood.
You can also look at it where God or existence is playing a game of snakes and ladders. Or as Einstein said, God doesn't play dice, but actually here is playing dice. Some people get nirvana very quickly, some people get liberation later. So we are all playing this game of hide and seek or snakes and ladders. There are so many games which we know, in the human aspect. And that is why I think it's Krishna Lila. It's just that God needs to amuse himself. When somebody asks me, why should God have to know himself when he's omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent? So the answer that came to me was that he wanted to amuse himself. That's why he pretends to be unconscious and then goes through this whole process. Okay, well,
His government Kama is agree with everything, but he's not pretending. He is unconscious, distracted, and then uh, when the urge starts the process. And yes, I don't know, it's nothing but Leela. It's just an amusing uh, play out of experiences put together by God. Okay, let's continue.
One way we can say that being unconscious is the best part of the thing. But this consciousness is only a play of game to reach that unconscious state.
Yeah, correct. To reach the original state or the final state.
Original. That is also unconscious.
Correct.
So Leela.
Absolutely.
Krishna Leela.
Okay. Let's continue reading. In the illusory states of God, the eternal, formless, infinite God, while being impressed by his own cosmic creations, gains consciousness first of the gross forms and experiences the gross worlds, then of the subtle forms and experiences the subtle worlds, then of the mental forms and experiences the mental worlds, and eventually attaining consciousness of his unlimited biggest self, experiences his eternal state. So, this is the journey between the through the with impressions. You go through the gross forms in the gross worlds, the subtle forms in the subtle worlds, mental forms of the mental worlds, and finally, you get the state of unlimited consciousness, unlimited self experience. It's the infinite state, and that's God's state. Consequently, when God is conscious of his gross forms, he identifies himself with the gross bodies and finds himself as a particular gross body according to the special impressions of that gross body. This means that the infinite, eternal, formless God finds himself as finite, mortal, and having gross form. The cause of this ignorance is but the impressions, sanskaras. So, sanskaras get introduced. So, God, who is eternally in the beyond state of Paratpar Parabrahma, or in the infinitude state of God is, in the beginning acquires ignorance through being impressed by the impressions rather than by acquiring knowledge of his reality. Hence, when God acquires a particular form, body, or sharir according to particular impressions, he feels and experiences that particular form, body, or sharir. God, in his stone form, experiences himself as stone. Accordingly, In consonance with impressions and their consciousness, God feels and experiences that he is metal, vegetation, worm, fish, bird, animal, or human being. Whatever be the type of the gross form and whatever be the shape of the form, the evolving consciousness of God tends God spontaneously to associate himself with that form, figure, and shape, which tends him to experience himself through impressions that he is that form, figure, and shape. So, again, the idea that impressions drive the wrong identification, and it is underlining the fact that you are identifying constantly with the form through those multifarious stages of evolution. I continue. Similarly, when God is conscious of the subtle body, that is the pran, then God experiences the subtle world and regards himself as the subtle body or pran. Likewise, God becomes conscious of the mental body, that is the mana or the mind, experiences the mental world, and regards himself as the mental body or the mana, the mind. It is only because of impressions that the infinite God, the oversoul, without form and infinite, experiences that he is veritably but a finite gross body in the gross sphere. That is, the Jivatma in Annabhuvan, or a subtle body in the subtle sphere, that is, the Jivatma in Pranabhuvan, or a mental body in the mental sphere, that is, a Jivatma in the Manobhuvan. God, while experiencing the gross world through gross forms, associates with and disassociates from innumerable gross forms. The association with and disassociation from gross forms are called birth and death, respectively. It
So
is
this
because,
so this
sure,
particular line applies to the gross body, subtle body, and mental body. The association with and dissociation from gross forms, right? Because even if you're in the subtle plane or the mental plane, you still need to have a gross form, correct?
yes. So that's why the last line has only gross.
Right, with gross
Because,
forms.
so if you, so the non-real birth and death is only the wrongful identification with a gross form, and that gross form has a corresponding subtle and mental form as well. And then
Correct.
that's the identification that is birth, the non-real birth, and then the non-real death is the disassociation of that gross form. But both times there is a subtle and a mental body for that gross form, corresponding to that gross form. But yeah, I mean, good you pointed that out. Not true. Yeah.
No, this
Continuing.
highlights the fact that even those souls which are in the subtle or mental sphere or mental status, they are having a gross body. And, without the gross body, this movement in the spiritual path is not possible. So we dissociate this gross form only at the end. That is the final death.
Correct. Perfect. And I think there is a intermediate persistence of the subtle and the mental bodies. Mental bodies carries the impressions, and there is a, let's say, idea of time is relative, but there is a period between the two between a death to the next birth. But at that time, there is no progress. There is no
No problem.
possibility of a spiritual progress. So, uh, just to point that out.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can make progress and work on your sanskaras only with a gross body. Okay, let's continue. It is because of impressions that the eternal, immortal, formless God or the oversoul, without births and deaths, has to experience births and deaths a number of times. While God has to experience these innumerable births and deaths because of impressions, he has not only to experience the gross world, which is finite and therefore false, but together with it, he has also to experience its happiness and misery, its virtue and vice. All forms,
Jai Baba, I have
yeah,
one. Just hold on. So go up the previous line. Okay, it is because of impressions that the eternal, immortal, formless God or the oversoul, without births and deaths, has to experience births and deaths a number of times through the drop souls. Correct? Technically, it is yes,
yes,
it's
yes,
the
yes,
oversoul, but the oversoul by itself doesn't experience, but it is experiencing through the drop souls, which are covered by impressions, right?
correct, correct.
Just a semantic thing, nothing else.
Yeah, correct. But
It is the outcome of that foolish question, who am I?
yes, yes,
Because technically, God doesn't, oversoul doesn't experience anything. It is just is. It is only when it becomes these drop souls, right, from that Om point, then these drop souls with consciousness and impressions undergo evolution, reincarnation, involution, and so on. Okay, Bob.
so that's the beauty of this book, right? So at any stage you look at it, the best description of this what God speaks is it is a biography of the soul. So the soul, so it's the individual soul's journey, but in that individual soul's journey is actually God's journey, right? So it's all the same. But I understand what you're saying by introducing the word individual soul, because that's what
And
experiences the
also, we have
impressions.
to, and also, it is the consciousness.
Correct.
Soul, nothing happens. It's only the
Consciousness
consciousness
of
which
the
is
soul.
filled
Yeah.
with it. And when it self realizes, it is the super consciousness which is in that individualized, infinite, eternal state, basically, of that particular drop soul. So each drop soul actually has, after God realization, has its own individuality to its super consciousness.
Correct.
If I'm allowed to, yeah. Yeah, Baba.
Yeah. Sure. So let's continue. All forms, figures, and shapes, all worlds and planes, all births and deaths, all virtue and vice, all happiness and misery, experienced by God, who is eternal, formless, and infinite, are the outcome of impressioned consciousness. Since all impressions are but the outcome of the nothing began, that manifested as nothingness, it means that whatever God experiences through his evolved consciousness in the gross, subtle, and mental worlds is the experience of the nothing. And as this nothing by nature is nothing, therefore, all the experiences in the intermediary illusory states of God are nothing but literally illusion, and as such, false and finite. So, all of illusion is the nothingness of the big nothing being projected, and that is being experienced by this journeying soul, and hence he is experiencing only the nothing, which is nothing but the illusion. Continuing, only when the impressioned consciousness is freed from all impressions is liberation or mukti in human form attained as nirvana or fana, where only consciousness is and where all else of the nothing, which was as nothingness, vanishes forever. Only in the case of the one who retains the body for 3 to 4 days after nirvana does the liberated or the unimpressioned or impressionless consciousness invariably realize eternal godhood in the second stage of fana, that is fanafila, and assert itself as I am God without doubt. Emphasis. This is the nirvikalpa state of undoubtedly I am God, when literally the impressionless or unimpressioned consciousness linked with human form realizes I am God, I was God, and forevermore will remain God as existence, big E, eternal and conscious. In this way, man becomes God, and it is said that man is God realized, or that the Jivatma in Paramatma has become the Shivatma in Paramatma, or the Oversoul. I think we should read the first part again, but there are two footnotes. So let's read those two footnotes and come back. This is again a repetition of what we have already read anyway, but let's read the footnotes, then go back and, if required, read the whole paragraph again. So the first footnote is about the person who retains the body for 3 to 4 days. Meher Baba explained, those who do not retain their bodies for 3 to 4 days but drop their bodies immediately after nirvana attain liberation, mukti. So if you reach after nirvana, you drop your body, then you get mukti. Next uh, footnote is 3 to 4. It's after the word 3 to 4 days. Let's see what we see there. Time does not exist for anyone who is in nirvana or for the one who has attained liberation. The period mentioned, 3 to 4 days, holds meaning only for the understanding of those who are gross conscious and are bound by time. So it's for us to keep our clocks and watch if somebody who reaches nirvana is keeping his body for 3 days, and then, oh yeah, he's now he's now reaching the next stage of fana, right? So uh, the idea of time is non-existent for God, right? Okay. Any thoughts? Any comments?
I have a question here.
Mhm.
Basically, it says that after nirvana, if that individual being does not retain the body for 3 or 4 days, then they attain mukti liberation, okay, which is bliss, we know. Ordinary mukti, moksha, and nirvana both are states of bliss after dropping their bodies, except one is mukti for the ordinary human being, moksha is after death, whereas nirvana happens before death. Now, second thing is for nirvikalpa samadhi to happen, the person has to go through nirvana, and if he retains his body for 3 to 4 days, then he is eligible for experiencing panafila, nirvikalpa samadhi. So, my question here is when one attains nirvana, can that person be in nirvana only, or if he keeps retaining the body um, by by the law, divine law, that person who retains the body for 3 or 4 days, will he immediately get nirvikalpa samadhi, or it just for a few? So this is This is what I was interested in knowing, that if you attain nirvana, that means you have to drop the body, or you can be in nirvana and exist for some time, without getting nirvikalpa samadhi.
Good
Hey, I'm not
question,
sure about.
Rama. Yeah. Can I answer, or is anybody else?
Yeah,
wants
go
to
ahead,
answer?
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, Nirvikalpa, nirvana happens in seventh plane. Seventh plane means B state, right? In the 10 states of God, B state. There's no time there. Now that Baba explains, now so and so attains nirvana. In the nirvana, the sanskaras are cancelled, unconscious part becomes united with the conscious part, experiences the divine vacuum, and then Vikalpa Samadhi. The way it is explained for us, for our mind, there is a time involved. But actually, in the seventh plane, there is no time. So it happens automatically. I'm not sure. But God realization happens for sure once one attains nirvana. There is no dropping of the body. It all depends upon the individual whether they whether they would drop the body or retain the body. Depends upon their prarabdha. That's what Baba says in the God Speaks. So my answer to you, Kama, is after nirvana, no, they attain nirvikalpa samadhi. At least we don't know. I don't know that if Baba ever mentioned what happens in between. Jai Baba.
So
No, but still the question remains: nirvana, and you don't retain your body for 3 to 4 days, then you don't have. Then you basically have liberation, which is bliss.
Mukti.
The people who have nirvana is bliss. But
Physical body can
if,
be there. Physical body can be there.
right,
Nirvana
so
and Nirvikalpa happens, then only they drop the yeah. Then
no,
only they
I
have the
know.
choice of leaving the body.
See, nirvikalpa samadhi also, we know that 56 God realized souls are also subset of people who get nirvikalpa samadhi. So when the soul, individual soul attains nirvana, retains the body for 3 or 4 days, then attains nirvikalpa samadhi, they also drop their body after attaining nirvikalpa samadhi. Only a few
Yes.
who are destined to be part of the 56 God realized souls then retain their body and then go through the whole majzup and all those other stages. So
No. See, 56 includes the person who goes to Nirvana, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Fanafila.
Yes.
56
yeah,
includes those
I
personalities.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the 56 is a subset of those souls who attain nirvikalpa samadhi. Which means if 100 people attain nirvikalpa samadhi, out of that, out of the 100 minus 56, they drop their bodies after 3 or 4 days after attaining nirvikalpa samadhi. And then the 56, probably are just as a hypothetical situation, I'm saying.
But there's no 100. There's no 100. Only 56.
Okay, only
That's my
56.
point
57
too.
person is
That's what
ready.
I'm
They will
saying. The
wait for
56 is a subset of the total number of people who experience Nirvikalpa Samadhi. They also drop their bodies with after 3 or 4 days after God realization.
No, there is no
Yes?
100. There's no
Yeah.
100.
Ravi's point is where I agree as well, which is 56 is the superset.
If 56 is there, then there is nobody gets Nirvikalpa and Nirvana. They wait.
Even Nirvikalpa, yes, they wait
Yeah.
for.
And somewhere Baba wrote this. There are so many people waiting on the sixth plane.
Yes.
Or sixth plane or beyond sixth plane. In between sixth and seventh plane, people will be waiting, right? Only when the position is vacant, then only perfect master pushes them to seventh plane. There's no subset. There's only one set.
No.
As per
Are you meaning to say only people in Nirvikalpa Samadhi go to the 56 God realized souls?
Nirvikalpa Samadhi means attaining the God realization.
No. God realization is separate from the 56 God realized souls who have functioned I'm talking about individual souls who attain Nirvikalpa Samadhi. They don't have any function and they drop their bodies after 3 or 4 days.
Correct. In the 3-4 days, only 56 number is there,
No.
not more
No,
than
no,
that.
no, 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 no. That's incorrect. No.
That
There
is
are many.
And I'm trying to find the reference here.
Read God
Yeah,
speaks,
32.
comma. Go back and read. That is incorrect.
Ravi, you have made so many mistakes. Don't make another mistake, please.
I don't do mistakes, never. You do the
Okay,
mistake.
hold on.
Today is the
1
day.
second.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
Ravi,
kidding.
today is the day. But I
No,
think
no,
Ravi,
that's
these
okay.
3-4 days is the
Right.
period, which is a waiting period to get into the 56 slot. It's like
Yeah.
the chair getting
It's no,
available in 56 to 3-4 days waiting period, and then they get into the 56 zone. That's why these 4 days probably.
what is 4 days? Where do you get that? 4 days.
4 days, 3 to 4 days, you get into seventh plane, right? That's what we were talking.
After Nirvana, 4 days.
No,
After
no, no, no,
Nirvana.
no. Nirvana happens in the seventh plane,
Okay.
not in the sixth plane. Sixth plane, they are still in the creation world. In between sixth and seventh, there are 7 spheres, right? The composite sphere Baba talks about. So in between also there are musts who are in between sixth and seventh. They are stuck there too. I don't know, they're stuck or whatever happens. You can go back to Wayfarers and read. So only the people that the perfect master pushes the people from the 6 or 6 point whatever into the seventh plane, then only the nirvana happens. So what I'm thinking is, in between on the threshold, the sanskaras are all removed, becomes zero, and then then in the seventh plane, these things happen. Consciousness becomes one. They experience a certain time that is not known for us, a divine vacuum state. That is divine vacuum. Even the Parabrahma also experiences the divine vacuum state. And then that is not a God state. It's beyond our conception to our mind. What is that state? Because it's happening in seventh plane. There is no time there. There is no time and space. Physical body is there, but how does it matter? It doesn't matter. See, it is like this, okay? The chief minister once gets elected, he takes, there's a ceremony, right? Taking the oath. Huh? What do you call
Oath,
that?
oath taking. Yeah, oath taking. Yeah.
Oath taking. Okay. And then afterwards they go to their offices and function. See, that's what exactly happens.
Forgetting the
Oath
oath.
taking is nirvikalpa samadhi. When they go to the office, bakabila. Fanafila is they're participating in the elections and taking the oath. Taking the oath is nirvikalpa samadhi. Going, that is the God realization part. After that, in our language, after that means after that time, they experience established as a God.
Okay. Let me rephrase Kama's question, and then we will. I'm also confused now. Okay. I'm reading from supplement. Sorry, action and inaction. Next
It's not the
supplement.
supplement, it's in the text itself.
No, but I'm giving you a reference here. 32. If you read 254 page of God Speaks, there is supplement 32. So if you go here and go to the third page of that supplement, so function, yeah. So this is what is causing the confusion, this para. There are always at all times and in all ages 56 God realized souls or Shivatmas in human form on earth. Then there is a semicolon. Means that's it, which is what Ravi said. That's the superset, that's the max, that's the total, right? Semicolon. And out of these 56, only 8 have public recognition and function as active members of the functioning spiritual hierarchy, consisting of the 7,000 members who do the assigned spiritual duties on various planes of consciousness according to their spiritual advancement or perfection. Kama, is it clear now? Only 56. That's it.
Yeah, that is a separate thing. But what I'm trying to say is that there are, it is not just 56 people who get Nirvikalpa Samadhi and then some of them become Jivan Mukta Sahaja Samadhi. There is a bigger, there are more number of souls who experience Nirvikalpa Samadhi, but they don't become part of the 56 God realized souls. That's what I'm trying to make.
No, that is not there. Where did you get that information?
Reference. Please provide reference.
Yeah.
I am
That's
providing
not known to
reference
me.
to
That
the.
is not for me.
Yeah.
It's okay. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
We
matter,
go.
but please get the
It does
preference.
matter since you're mentioning. It does.
Well, I will find out and tell you, because it's in the main section of God Speaks. Karthik, if you go where they explain going from the 6th plane to the 7th plane, where he's talking
150,
about
176
first
or
stage
something
of,
like that, right?
yeah, first stage of real fana, then second stage of real fana, which is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. You go back and read that. And there you will see about how after Nirvikalpa Samadhi, after experiencing Nirvikalpa Samadhi, 3 or 4 days later, they drop their bodies.
Yeah, I think let's do that offline. We are almost out of time, and I have a hard stop in a few minutes. So, but this is an open item. The open item being on uh, the math, the arithmetic around the 56, and
So
we
let's
will
be
get
clear
to it
what Kama
Sunday.
says.
Yeah.
Karthik, let's be clear
Sure.
what Kama says. So
Yeah.
we are saying there are only 56 and nobody more than that will get Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Kama
Correct.
says, yes, they get, but only 56 are God realized, right? Right, Kama?
No. I am saying there are two, basically, let's say, um, individual souls who get Nirvikalpa Samadhi, most of them drop their body after 3 or 4 days after Nirvikalpa
Mm,
Samadhi.
mm,
A few of them are designated to become part of the 56 God realized souls, the table, because they have functions. Okay, so in the general
No.
category of
So,
people who are got Nirvikalpa Samadhi, not everybody is going to have a function to be part of the 56 God realized souls.
bro, read
no, they
this.
don't have duty, Kama.
Read this.
Muzubs, Brahmibhuts don't have duty.
Read
Jivan
this.
Muktas don't have
Only
duty.
8.
Okay? Just one
Only
more
8
second.
have
Ravi, you're
One more
public.
mistaking
second.
me. I
Karthik.
clearly said that after 3 or 4 days, most of them drop their bodies. Then the rest who are designated will either become Majzoot, who might live for 20, 30 years, or become Paramahamsas or Jivan Muktas or Sadgurus.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
The moment they drop the body, Kama, the other person gets the realization at that moment of the time.
They are
Moment of
mutually
dropping the
exclusive.
body.
The 56 God realized souls are mutually exclusive to individual souls who also experience Nirvikalpa Samadhi and drop their bodies.
I think this is a clear.
That's my point.
No.
Yeah. There is a clear
Look
two
where you found out this information and get
and
back.
please share.
Because as far as the
Yes.
God speaks, and Baba
Yes,
gave
that's
more
what
information in the creation and conscious, nothing and
forget
everything.
about creation. I don't go into creation concepts. I just stick to God speaks. That is the final reference point.
Yeah,
So
show
let's
us
go
where you
offline
found it.
and let's discuss this next week.
Perfect. I think let's do that. But
Yeah,
the positions are clear. You are saying that there is more than 56. Our position is show us the reference. We'll pick it up from there, either offline through the discussion group, or if it remains unresolved, of course, we will dwell into this at length Sunday next.
to make this thing clear, say those who are progressing in the path, apart from having duties later, will they become realized or not? These 56 and 7,000 chart given is those who will have a functionality. And in this process, out of the 56, one drops the body, one from below will come up to that place. That is a different entity for maintaining that spiritual, say, hierarchy, and also to, say, help the other souls to uplift themselves. But are there souls which are getting the realization without passing through this route? That is the question. If that is answered clearly, then we know where we are standing. Either we go on our own path and then realize,
Yes.
or we have to go only through the 56.
Correct.
As far as I know, this is the only path.
No, I don't think so. Anyway, we
Okay,
will.
we will get a reference. We will
get
get a
back.
reference either
This is
way.
the only
I
path.
am also very curious, along, I am sure, with Ravi as well, to increase the number. So if there is more, the chance, our chances improve, right? So
Yes.
we'll
Yeah.
be more than
Yeah.
happy. We'll be more than
Baba
happy. But
has told that all the 84 lakh people,
we'll get it either way.
all these souls will get realization
After
by
84 lakh births.
84,000 rebirths. So if that is
84 lakh
the
births.
formula,
How they
then it has to
how
be
they
two
get it
routes.
is this is the only path, Mamaji.
No, anyway,
That's it.
we
Baba
will
said
check.
it very clearly. This is the only. Everyone has to go through this path. Baba said it very clearly.
Anyway, we
Anyway,
will.
Sure. I think
Karthik,
let's,
I want to introduce my friend Jay Chandra.
yes, we met him already. Hello,
Oh,
Mr.
you already met him?
Jayachandra.
Right.
Yes, I mean, we
Super.
asked about him and he mentioned you introduced. So welcome aboard, Mr. Jayachandra. Where are you
Jay Chandra
currently?
is from
Yeah,
Illinois.
thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm from Illinois, Springfield, Illinois, near
Okay.
Peoria, where Dr. Ravi lives, about 1 hour from there.
Excellent. Excellent.
We never
So,
met, by the way.
oh, really? That's nice. So our group was also like that. We met only recently over the last couple of years, but then we have been together for a long time, and we have
Right.
built and solidified relations, had good fights and good bonding as well. So
There is
welcome.
only one person to fight. I always look forward to fight Jay Chandra garu. I wonder who
So
that
you got
person
you
is. What
you
happened?
got a little, you got a good advertisement today, so you see more. So welcome
Rama, where
aboard.
have you been? I've been missing you, man.
Okay, I will
Well,
stop
you don't believe
recording
it.
at this time.
I'm in
I'll stop
Gangotri.
recording at this time.
In
Avtar Meher
Gangotri.
Baba ki jai.
My goodness. When are you coming back?